Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd try something a little different today. I'm going to try and rig my camera up so I can talk to you guys on my Vespa. Vespa is, I'll show it to you in a second, but I just got a haircut. It was 200 Thai Baht, which is about $5.50. So let's see if I can get this thing hooked up. There's the old Vespa. So that's what I'm going to try and take you around, show you a little bit of Chaam. All right, let's go ahead and get the Vespa cranked up and we'll hit the road. As I was saying, the last time I was in Leesburg, Virginia, right before I left and moved over here, I got a haircut and I paid $27 US with tax and tip. So getting a haircut for under $5 US is pretty good here. The cost of living is way cheaper. So this is my neighborhood. We're cruising out. We're gonna head north today. If you come out of my neighborhood and you go right, you end up in Hua Hin. If you go to the left, you end up in Chaam. I live pretty much right on the border. Hua Hin Airport, if we were able to drive straight ahead through that foliage right there for about a kilometer, you would hit the end of Hua Hin Airport runway. So it's kind of fun. We get to sit in our living room and I see Air Asia take off 4 times a week heading for Chiang Mai, and landing also when it comes in to pick up passengers. But yeah, so let's just go on a little road trip. Up here on the if you turn left, we're going to turn right in the circle, but up here on the left is Palm Villa Golf Course. Really nice golf course. It's one of 4 in the Hua Hin area, I believe. Golfing is a pretty big thing here. When I first got here, I didn't know how anybody could conceive of playing golf in weather this hot and humid, but you know, now I can because I've been here for 9 months, and it's really, you can make do. I mean, you can also golf like early in the morning when it's still fairly cool out. Not too bad, but yeah. So to get over to Route 4 Phet Kasem Road from Klong Road, which we were just on, you have to cross the railway tracks, and some of the sois, that's what they call streets in Thailand, have these U-shaped overpasses built, and you can take the overpass and it allows you to go safely. There are some sois where you can cross the railroad track. Actually, there's quite a few sois that don't have these bridges built, and so you have to be very careful looking left and right to make sure a train's not coming, otherwise it could ruin your day. But you can see this train tracks on the left hand side. Now this day started out pretty nice. This is at about 12:30ish, and my wife warned me before I left the house when I said I was going to go out and video a little bit of a bike ride that the rain was supposed to come at 2. I'm going to show you at the very end of this video how that prediction came out. So yeah, cost of living's a lot cheaper here. Another example, my last breakfast in the United States was at an IHOP, and I had, you know, I think 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, some hash browns, a couple pieces of toast. With tax and tip, it was $21. That same meal you could probably get for, you know, $3 or $4 tops here. I mean, it's not bad. I don't know what this car in front of me was doing, but he was driving extremely slow. He has a red tag license plate, which means his car is brand new. Those are temporary tags in Thailand. Then after a couple of months, the dealer will call you up and say they've got your permanent tags. You actually have to give the dealership a deposit. It's to ensure that they get the red tags back. I don't think it's that much. I want to say it was like 3,000 baht, which would be, you know, roughly $90. I might switch back and forth from baht to US dollars quite a bit, but the rough thumb rule is the exchange rate is about 33 baht to the US dollar. So just think 1,000 baht is roughly $30. You know, just a little bit underneath. So anyways, this is Chaam. A lot of stores, dealers, car washes, places to eat. This is a pretty busy road. The distance between Hua Hin and Chaam is about 13 miles or about 20 kilometers-ish. So this is a big, you know, 3 lanes on each side, and the cars drive really fast on here. I think the speed limit is 90, and I've seen cars doing like 30 on this road. So when you're on a motorbike, you got to be pretty careful. Obviously, if for my friends in the United States, we drive on the opposite side of the road over here in Thailand. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's not too bad. You mostly embarrass yourself by walking to the wrong side of the car to get behind the steering wheel, and then, if Thai people see you, they start laughing because they know you're not used to driving on this side of the road. So, but you get used to it after a while. It's fine. This is FN outlet. FN is a store. This one is an outlet, so they carry a bunch of, they've got Adidas, housewares, all that kind of stuff. I think kind of like I would say like a Target or a Walmart. It's okay. Coming up on the left, there's a PTT gas station. It's probably the most common one I see around. PTT's got some kind of partnership with 7-Eleven, so there's always a 7-Eleven. There's a coffee shop. Usually there's some place to eat, like a KFC in there. So you pull into a gas station. It's very much like Europe or for like Italy, for anybody who's been there, where they have like a whole rest area where you can go in and get a coffee and get food and do that kind of stuff. Bathrooms. Yeah, it's not bad. You really got to watch the drivers here. There are a lot of foreigners driving on the road here. So, and if you're used to driving in your own country, you need to be very, very careful when you're driving in a different country, because the rules of the road are different depending on where you go. So just keep your eyes open. So you just have to watch it. I mean, just like Italy, the people driving cars know how to watch out for people on motorbikes, so it's not that big a deal. This guy, he's running in front of me. He's running he's got like a little portable food stand or something in that little sidecar of his. But I got to get around this guy because him and that truck are going to be driving super slow. It's a little bit hazardous. Plus, you don't want to just stare at that, right? I'm guessing you're watching this video because you want to be able to look around. But anyways, yeah, so in between Hua Hin and Chaam, there's a number of huge resorts. The beach is actually on the right-hand side. I have a GoPro that's actually stuck to the front of my motorbike, so unfortunately I can't pan it around while I'm driving. You're just basically looking in the direction that I'm going. So car insurance, when you buy a new car, it comes with like the highest level of insurance that you get for a year. Same with the motorbike. So I haven't paid for any insurance since I've been here, but in September it'll be about a year since I bought them, so I'm gonna have to get my own coverage. And I think they have like a level A, B, and C coverage, different levels of insurance you can get. I've heard it's not expensive, so not a overly huge concern. I do always wear a helmet in Thailand. The Hua Hin today, the newspaper made a big deal about saying that as of June 1st, helmet laws were going to be enforced, and it was going to be a 2,000 baht fine for anybody who was on a scooter without a helmet, and that includes passengers. 2,000 baht is about $60. I'm not quite sure how they're going to be able to enforce that, because I've seen families of 4 on a scooter and none of them are wearing a helmet. So you get a lot of these people. You probably noticed the lady driving the wrong way down the road on the other side. Thailand's roads don't have like easy turns to the right or left. I mean, they have a few of them, but not that many. So what ends up happening is if you want to get to a place that's on the other side of the street, you have to go to the first place that you can do a U-turn, and that may be like 1.5 kilometers down the road. Make a U-turn to go back the other way to get to that place. Some folks just refuse to do it. So especially if they only have a short distance, so they will stay close to the shoulder and drive on the wrong side of the road, like the opposite direction. And I'll point it out. You'll see them when they're coming by. But yeah, so it's funny. You see a lot of Chinese cars in Thailand. You see a lot, BYD and MG and Naval are both pretty big, but they don't have as much resale value as the Japanese cars. Anybody who builds a factory in Thailand, I believe, doesn't have to pay the tariffs on their imported vehicles. So one big American manufacturer I see over here is Ford. There's a ton of Fords there, and I know there's a Ford plant here in Thailand. Toyota also has a plant in Thailand. I think Honda and Mazda also have plants here in Thailand. So the cars are actually really affordable. I mean, we bought our car, and I want to say we paid about $25,000 US for it. It's a little mini sport utility, brand new Toyota. And the nice thing is the way Toyotas hold their resale value in Thailand, you know, we can keep that car for 5 years and sell it for almost what we paid for it when we sell it. But it'll probably last us a really long time. We don't put huge miles on it. See, there's another guy driving on the wrong side of the road. Yeah, we just don't. We use it mostly for going to the store if it's going to rain, or, you know, going grocery shopping, going into Hua Hin if we need to. If we go into Hua Hin at night, we just use a Grab, which is like an Uber for the United States folks. Coming up here on the left is a yacht brokerage. Apparently you can buy a boat for starting at 2 million baht. I don't know what the exact dollar amount of that is, but seems like a reasonable deal. This is Chaam Beach. You can see it's like lots of hotels, lots of places that are selling things, lots of restaurants, bars, places to eat. On the right hand side, you have the beach, and you have, you know, beach chairs, and then there's vendors that come by and sell you drinks and all that kind of stuff. There's always guys trying to get you to come in and park, and then they charge you like, you know, 20 baht or 30 baht, you know, less than $1 to park there for the day. And then they find you. I don't know if they charge you. I've never actually been to the beach to go sit. I'm not much of a sit on the beach guy, but the Thais sure love it, and so do a lot of the foreigners that come visit. I think, you know, there's no big chain, like international chain hotels that I've noticed on Chiang Beach. They're all pretty locally Thai-run hotels. I think you could probably get a hotel for, you know, $50 US, or what would that be in baht? That would be, you know, 1,700 baht a night, probably with views, some kind of view of the ocean. So really reasonable. I mean, it's a great place to live. It's not expensive, you know. If you eat Thai street food, it's not hard to eat for $2. I'll show you the view from the other side. But yeah, you know, I mean, you can easily find one meal portion for $2 to $3, you know. Actually, I think you can find it even cheaper if, like, you know, I'm sure the local Thais, they know where to go, where they can get really super cheap food. But it's all good, you know. It's funny. So we have a store called Macro here, which is kind of like Costco in the United States. I see the restaurant street food people in there buying their supplies all the time, because you'll see a lady who's got like 3 gigantic bags full of chicken, and their shopping cart loaded up, you know, rice, fish sauce, all the things, you know. So they're all going to Macro and getting their thing. We have a Macro near our house. I like shopping there. It's cash and carry, or if you have a Thai bank account, you can scan to pay, which is basically they register has a computer display on the side of it, and a QR code will come up. And if you have a Thai bank, you can scan it with the app on your phone. I have a Thai bank account, so then the money just comes directly out of your bank account. So you can pay like that. I've heard if you have a Thai credit card, a certain brand, I want to say it's UOB, I'm not sure, but they will let you use that one credit card, and then the rest is cash. So there's a bank of ATM machines right when you walk in, so you can get out the cash if you need it. Yeah, so that's Macro. As a matter of fact, my wife just went to the store to get some salmon from Macro. So yeah, you can see a little bit more of the beach on the left-hand side. Plenty of parking, although I'm sure during the high season it does get a little crazier. Like I said, we're in the monsoon right now, so the beaches are a little bit less crowded. There's still a lot of people that are just cruising up and down the beach. I just saw a few minutes ago a motorcycle group or gang, whatever you want to call them, go by in their crotch rockets. There's like 6 of them. But yeah, overall, it's a very nice beach. It's pretty. We like to go down there and get a beer or have lunch and look at the ocean a little bit. We only live like 2 kilometers from the ocean, but and I remember him because his bike is tuned so it's super loud. I don't know why people do that, but to each their own. That's what floats your boat. But so somebody commented in my other video about why we retired here, about the fact that I didn't put any information about medical insurance. Because I'm retired U.S. military, I have medical insurance called TRICARE Overseas that I pay for, and that meets the requirement for the Thai government for my long-term resident visa. There are lots of different insurance providers, like international insurance providers, that expats use when they come over here. It's going to be specific to your own situation, so I don't have much more information on that. I didn't have to come through the conventional road to find medical insurance. I just switched from TRICARE Prime, which is in the US, to TRICARE Overseas. So I'm good to go. I have some American friends that have been here 20 years that, did the whole switch over to Medicare and did that stuff, but I don't have to worry about that until I'm 65 years old. So, and that's 8 years from now. So I haven't really been researching it. My apologies if you were expecting that in my last video, but couldn't do it because I didn't know it. So the driving here it's a little chaotic. It's not too bad. It's got a rhythm to it. So once you learn the flow of it, even my wife agrees with me. You can go through some like really congested areas that have lots of roundabouts, and people let people go, and you can squeeze through as long as you're slow and deliberate. They'll let you through. It can be intimidating when you first get here, but after you figure out the way it works, it's really not that bad. Traveling by motorbike, though, is definitely the easiest way to get around, especially when you get down into Hua Hin. There are some streets down in Hua Hin, especially close to the water, that progressively get narrower and narrower and narrower, and they're for bi-directional traffic. They're 2-way lanes, and there is no way more than one car, and I mean a small car, is going to get through there. So we got stuck. We were meeting some friends at a bar and down there to have a beer, and they were on a motorbike and we were in our car, and I got stuck on a street down there. We left like the other restaurant like 5 minutes before them, and they'd been sitting there and they were halfway through their beer by the time we got there, because I had to do the Austin Powers, in a golf cart, like trying to back up and squeeze out and get out of there. And I told my wife, never again. If I come down to this area, we're coming on the bike. So she started laughing and thought that was fine. But yeah, it's easier to get around on a motorbike. But you just got to be super aware of what's around you. Really, when you're driving a motorbike, you're really primarily focused on like your sides to forward. I mean, you'll glance in your rearview mirror, especially if you're going to change lanes or something like that, but you very rarely are watching, constantly staring in your rearview mirror. You're really, everybody's keeping an eye ahead of them to make sure that they don't hit something or do something untowards. The other thing is, like, you can see this truck just pulled out right in front of me. That is very normal for Thailand. Every time I'm out, I get at least 5 to 6 cars that just, they don't even look. They just pull straight out in front of you. So you have to be on your toes, make sure that you're being very defensive in your driving. You don't want to be an offensive driver in Thailand. You want to be a very defensive driver and just be looking, because somebody will pull out. There's another person going the wrong way, but somebody will pull out right in front of you, and Yeah, it's crazy. This this traffic light actually happens to be the last traffic light before you go on the main stretch to Hua Hin. There's a motorcycle store on the left-hand side. I just leaned the bike over so you can see it. Ooh, didn't have to wait long at this light. That was good. But that's the other bad thing about a motorbike is it is so hot, especially during the day when the sun's beating down on you. If you have to sit at a light that lasts like 100 seconds, you will be soaked with sweat. And you always see the Grab drivers that that obviously people from Thailand are acclimated to the temperature, so they just live their lives like normal. They play sports, they do all this stuff out in the sun. It doesn't matter. But the Grab drivers, the food delivery drivers, they will be clothed from head to toe. And I think it's because they're concerned about skin cancer, but I don't know how they do it without dying. So we just passed a Big C supermarket on the left. So there's three main supermarkets in Hua Hin. There's Big C, there's Tops, and there's Lotus. And then they all have what they call express shops, like little mini mart type places. They're good. I think the grocery stores are more affordable, obviously, than the United States. When the U.S. was paying like $9 for a carton of eggs, I was paying like $1.50. So the cost of living is definitely really good here. I couldn't tell you which is my favorite. Oh, the fourth grocery store is Villa Market. Villa Market happens to be my wife's favorite grocery store, but it's also the most expensive grocery store. They carry a lot of foreign food, and you pay for it. Like, for example, for a bag of Doritos, just corn tortilla chips, you probably have to pay like $8 to get that bag of potato chips. And there's some like Mission has teamed up with Macro, Mission tortilla chips. They don't taste right. The packaging is the same as in the U.S., but it almost tastes like they're baked potato chips instead of fried. So I don't know. They just don't taste as good. So when I'm really, really craving tortilla chips and salsa, I will suck it up and pay the $8 for a bag of Doritos. And everything in there in Villa Market is just, it's more expensive. But it's a nice little shop. I get why my wife likes it. It's convenient. It's also the second closest store to our house next to Macro. And in Thailand, each person has to have their own bank account. Like I can't put my wife on my Thai bank account so she can't use the app and scan, which means she always has to have cash on her when she goes to Macro, unless we were to open a separate Thai bank account for her, which is, you have to go to the immigration office. It's kind of a pain. So, we decided against that. But anyways, yeah, so those are the main grocery stores in Hua Hin. There's probably a few other brands. Lotus used to be Lotus Tesco. Tesco, like my British friends will know what Tesco is. But for some reason, I think it was right before we arrived, they dropped the Tesco name off of Lotus's. So now it's just Lotus. So, and up here I'm gonna whip into a gas station, go to a convenience store because I am dying of thirst at this point in my ride. And there's a Shell station coming up here on the left. And so Shell, I believe, is teamed with Lawson convenience stores, and PTT gas stations are teamed with 7-Eleven. So I know at PTTs you always see 7-Elevens. And I think the Lawsons are the ones that you see at Shells. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think we have Lawsons in the United States. In some states, I think there's Lawson's place. All right, so I just got my water. This is kind of cool. There's a train car that's been converted into a cafe sitting here. That's an actual train car. And then to the left, they have a EV charging station. EVs are starting to become huge. BYD, MG. There's even a lot of Teslas here. Now, one of the big two shopping malls in Hua Hin, Blueport, actually has Tesla superchargers at it, like legit Tesla superchargers. So if you were going to buy a Tesla here, you can go there and supercharge if you didn't have a charger at your house. My wife and I used to have Teslas when we lived in the United States and I was working and I had an income, but they're out of our price range now. They're about the same price, believe it or not, here in Thailand as they were in the United States. So a Model Y long range, I think, is roughly 50,000 US. It's just, that's not in our budget anymore. So we're passing another 7-Eleven. Southeast Asia is funny. Thailand, in particular, you cannot swing a dead cat without hitting a 7-Eleven. I swear, they've got to be like every 100 meters. They are literally all over the place. They're fine. There's a ton of videos by people who had, you know, who like to eat the 7-Eleven food because they say it's better in Thailand than, you know, other 7-Elevens like in the U.S., for example. Although I love the 7-Eleven food in the U.S., the hot dogs and the mini tacos and stuff. Those were great. But, you know, I try to, as much as I can, I believe 7-Eleven is owned by a Japanese conglomerate now, and I try to support the Thai economy as much as possible. So I have kind of a mom and pop convenience store like directly across the street from my complex, and I try to go there as much as possible just to help give back into the economy. They're great too. They actually speak really good English. So husband and wife and a daughter, and their daughter seems to be a teenager and a very typical one, but the mother and father are great and always greet me when I come in, and it's a great little shop to come in. So as you can see, during the course of this ride, the clouds have become a little bit more threatening. I was eating lunch at 12:15, and I told my wife I was going to do this, and she said, "Ooh, it's supposed to rain around 2." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, let me go out and get a 30-minute ride in." So here I am. I'm kind of racing back. It is now about 1:20 in the afternoon. So I'm racing back. We'll see how accurate my wife's prediction was. So we just passed the Centara Life Hotel. That is a sister hotel to the Centara Grand, which we just posted a video for. So if you'd like to go see that video review of the Centara Grand, please check it out on our channel. It's down in Hua Hin proper. This one's up here. We went and looked at it. It looked okay. It just didn't look like a place that we want to spend, you know, several hours videotaping. So on my wife's prediction of rain at 2 o'clock, she was wrong. It was 1:30. And this is me racing back to try to get back to my house. And in answer to your question, yes, I did get soaked. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel. We've done pretty well so far. My retirement video has done surprisingly well. But yeah, I mean, and you know, drop comments. I also did a video on how to move your dog from the US to Thailand. We moved 2 Labradors. If you watch that video, at the end of it, you get to see them swim for a little bit in our swimming pool. But they've adapted no problem. We really love it here. I went home for a week in February. I had to do my annual physical with the VA, and all I could think about the whole time I was home was coming back to Thailand, because I really feel like this is my home now. So really love it, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, we'll see you next time. We are going to be going on the road for 2 weeks here coming up. We're leaving Saturday, so we're staying up in Bangkok Saturday night, then we're flying to London on Sunday, and then we're visiting some friends in Lincoln and in Dorset for a few days each. We're taking the train, so we're flying EVA Air and Virgin Atlantic coming back, and Air India and Premium Economy. So we're going to make videos for all those. So this trip should yield about 7 or 8 videos. So stand by for those. There may be a little bit of a drought for a couple weeks because we're going to be over there, and it's hard when you're in the middle of travel to edit video. There's my dog, Remy, one of my 2 dogs. He's a English Labrador. I can see Stella, my chocolate lab, is inside. Take care, everyone.